Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, and what a day. We have so much to talk about. I want you to sit tight, honestly, and bear with me here. Late again? Oh no, Vox. No, I'm always dead on time. Maybe you don't know what time I'm out here. 4 or 5. Anyway, look, guys and girls, post-market wrap-up Thursday. This is historic. Today is historic for multiple reasons, and something is going on here that I don't believe is going to surprise you or shock any of you that have an open mind. Thank you, Shannon. And understand. Look, let me explain this to you. It's not hard to think multidimensionally. I think I have been given a gift to do that. Honestly, and what we witnessed today, what happened today, is a clear example of that. And the setup, something is going on here that you guys and girls need to pay attention to, honestly. All right, let's start off with, I think, the biggest piece of news here. Something that you and I nailed to the wall. Now, before I even show this to you, I have been ridiculed. I have been told Greg is going to start crying when Trump tells the Fed to raise rates. Well, Trump did exactly what we said he would do. Donald Trump says he'll demand that interest rates drop. This is part of the game that you and I cold would happen. Now, this is a setup. You have to understand. This gets actually much bigger than that. Trump is actually calling on world central banks to drop rates. And he goes on to say, I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately. And likewise, they should be dropping all over the world. Okay, you understand the mechanism. You know what this means. You know, I'm going to cover that with you at length in a moment here. But when a central bank or a politician says we're going to lower rates or promises you lower rates, it means they're going to kill the purchasing power of the currency. That's what this does. It means you're going to work harder and longer to make ends meet. This empowers central banks like you can't possibly believe. It allows them to inflate. When a central bank hears something like this, a demand for lower rates. We knew this was going to happen from Trump's last tenure, calling the Fed boneheads because they weren't going to zero, calling the Fed boneheads because they weren't going to negative rates. The Fed was pushed back, and they're going to do the same thing. As we said, the Fed's going to push back and say, well, we're going to do what's appropriate. The fact of the matter is, this can't possibly make a central banker happier. When a central banker hears some, you know what the Federal Reserve they're doing right now from Powell on down? They're literally having a party, like you can't even possibly believe, because this gives the Fed in this case and world central banks, because Trump wants them all to drop rates, to now create vast amounts of currency out of nothing. They're really going to add it to a digital screen, get into the debt market and buy the debt, but there's going to be pushback. The pushback from the Fed is going to be, oh, we'll do it when it's appropriate. But again, this is exactly what the Fed wanted to hear. This is not good at all. Understanding how this works. And again, do you realize that you and me, we called this? Two reasons why Trump was selected. Number one, this, to bring us into a low rate, possibly negative rate environment. Two, to help issue in the new system, the Federal Reserve's tokenized system. But first, they got to build a bridge to the digital system to make cryptocurrency so people can accept it before they go to full tokenization. Frank, thank you so much. Exactly, Silver. So this is tremendous. And I wrote here, run from the dollar. It should be run from central bank issued notes, period. Central banks, all over the world here. It's a pretty incredible thing when you call something like this, when we call something like this and it happens. You see, I already told you, we have their playbook. We know what they're going to do before they're going to do, because again, we all have this gift. It's a gift. I'm telling you from the Almighty, and you know my position with that. I don't say a word or anything without it being filtered through the Almighty and passed on to me. I'm telling you the truth here. We all have the ability to think multidimensionally. It's the truth. Some of us maybe a little more so. But the setup here is very dire. And we're watching, again, the final nails being put in the dollar. And it's going to be, again, if Trump now calling for world central banks to drop rates. Everyone, every world economy developed around the world, this debt-based system demands they must inflate. That is epic. It's an absolutely epic thing. Before at the World Economic Forum, something happened at the World Economic Forum I want to talk about. But before we do that, I want to just bring you guys up to speed in case you're new here with what this actually means with regard to lower rates and currency devaluation. Now, 5 days ago, I put this out for no, wrong one. Here, 5 days ago, I put this out for all of you. It's in your inbox right now if you subscribe to my newsletter. Let me just say this real quick. The stock market was lower across the board earlier until Trump made that, until this came out. When Trump said that he's going to demand that the Fed cut rates here, the market did a miraculous turnaround. We ended up with nice gains across the board, a new record high, as a matter of fact, for the S&P 500, my Lions. Believe me, I'm watching this, and I will keep you informed about if we're going to get back in here. But we're watching the debt market. Okay, the debt market is a key. Don't listen to Greg Mannarino. Listen to this guy. Larry Fink is telling you it's the bond market that we're going to be watching. It's going to tell us what's going on. It's pretty easy. Now, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies today did pretty well. I had a printout, at least I thought I did for you guys and girls. Gold and silver fell under some pressure. Despite the fact that a lot more easy money is going to be pumped into the system, it's going to potentially push the stock market much higher. Okay, the reason for that is why. What has Greg taught all of you? Cash seeks yield. Cash seeks yield. When a central banker, or in this case, a politician, is working with their central bank to lower rates here to destroy the purchasing power of the currency, it opens up a doorway for cash to flow into the stock market. So you're going to see continued pressure here. You're going to see continued pressure here. That's a gift, a gift. And it looks like so far in this poll I'm running here, 47% of you will be buying more gold and silver. Only 21 will be buying more cryptocurrency, 23% both. Okay, I get that. It kind of makes me angry a little bit. I had a nice printout for you. I know I'm so old school, right? Anyway, that's okay. Cryptos, I said, did well. And I hope I'm making myself clear. Now, with regard to lower rates and what politicians do working with the central bank, this pretty much outlines what you're going to see moving forward. Again, I put this out 5 days ago, but I've been screaming from rooftops for this for the longest time. Again, some of you were really surprised about the fact that Trump did this. And again, I was ridiculed. Greg's going to be so wrong. Greg does not know what he's talking about. Trump is going to raise rates and this is going to hurt the Fed. He will never hurt the Fed. He's working directly with the Fed and they're laughing at us. I'll tell you someone else is laughing at us right now. Brian Moynihan, the CEO of Bank of America, who happens to be a Republican, by the way. Anyway, before we get there, because I want to show you what's being set up, honestly. It's pretty bad. With regard to this, I want to just skim through this real quick so you can understand where we're going here. So markets and the economy, a grand deception and a fundamental lie. Now, here's a quick review. Two fundamental truths in economics and finance. I'm not even going to look at it. To have a strong economy, you must have a strong currency. Here, we're being promised the purchasing power of the dollar. And again, Trump saying that world central banks should be cutting rates means purchasing power losses across the board. So right now, you realize this is a wrecking machine for the economy. So to have a strong economy, you need a strong currency. To have a strong currency, you need a rate of interest high enough to support the currency. Trump, he went to Wharton Business School. He knows what I am saying is true, but he's demanding that the Fed cuts rates. I believe that we're going negative. You will be paying the banks to keep your cash in them. Okay, anyway, let us move forward. Now, however, when these two fundamental truths are flipped upside down, both the economy and the people suffer. However, those who run the system and know how to take advantage of it benefit greatly when these two economic truths are flipped around. Now, selling a fundamental lie, central bankers, politicians, Wall Street all work closely together, and they are in the business of selling lies, deceptions, distractions, half-truths, backtracking, propagating public misinformation, and the like. In my opinion, it's devilism. An integral part of their coordinated deception is selling we, the people of the world. We, the people of the world. okay, on the grand idea that lower rates is what we need to make our economy strong. You can't make this stuff up, but you're seeing it happen in real time. It's unbelievable. If we understand that lower rates steals the purchasing power from the currency, how is this beneficial to the economy and its people? It isn't. Having lower rates sounds good to those seeking to borrow. However, having lower rates means that you now need to borrow more weakened currency brought about by lower rates. On the same page? Moreover, it will now take even more devalued currency to pay back what you borrowed. The overall effect of lower rates and therefore currency purchasing power losses is inflation. No one's going to tell you that, people. It's just you guys. Can you do basic math? Okay, it's an incredible thing, but this is what we're being told, demanding by Trump. I am going to toot Trump's horn. For those of you that think I have nothing good to say about Trump, I'm going to give him some kudos in just a little bit. So hold on. The overall effect of low rates and therefore currency purchasing power losses is inflation. Moreover, the effect of low rates creates massive price action distortions by weakening the currency and therefore creating inflation, weakening the economy. Low rates are responsible for producing asset bubbles in the stock market. Did you see what happened today on the back of what Trump said, demanding the Fed lower rates? Okay, no surprise to any of you. You knew this was coming for months. Before this election, you knew this was coming. There was no election. When are you guys going to wake up? Some of you guys. Anyway, low rates inflate stock market and real estate bubbles. Cash always seeks yield. Sounds about right to you? Low rates are directly responsible for inflating stock market bubbles. When rates are low, it opens a doorway for cash to flow into risk assets like stocks. Hello? This mechanism invariably leads to wild speculation in the stock market, and the result is massive price action distortions and stock market bubbles. Low rates and therefore currency purchasing power losses inflate real estate and housing prices. The result is what? Higher rent and vastly inflated real estate prices. Lower rates and therefore currency purchasing power losses also lower our standard of living wherever you are in the world. People must work harder and longer to acquire more devalued currency to maintain a particular lifestyle. Lower rates accelerate global debt hyperbubbles. I could go on and on. The simplest way to put a perspective on how lower rates accelerates debt hyperbubbles. I just can't believe this. I just have to see this for myself one more time. The simplest way to put a perspective on how lower rates accelerates debt hyperbubbles is this. Lower rates are responsible for currency purchasing power losses, and then the demand for more currency grows. Trump knows every word of what I'm saying. He went to Wharton Business School, okay, one of the top business schools, if not probably in the world. The effect of lower rates and currency purchasing power destruction is an economic wrecking machine. However, this mechanism allows central banks to inflate and introduce more new money into the system. The effect of new money pumped into the system does not affect all people equally. Those closest to the money benefit, the 1% and 2%ers. This close to the money benefit is due to the inherent lag effect on how cash moves through an economy. Now, to further understand this concept, people have talked about it a million times. Look up the Cantillon effect. Cantillon effect. Stock market investors, real estate investors, cryptocurrency investors, Wall Street super banks, central banks, the ultra rich, multinational corporations all benefit from a low rate environment. Increasing purchasing power losses, but those who know how to take advantage and capitalize on it win. Make it up. Low rates and the promise of even lower rates to come. You think this is it? We're going to get at least, I already told you before this announcement, we're getting at least 4 rate cuts this year. Do you finally believe me? Lower rates and the promise of even lower rates to come, possibly even negative rates, as the world economy free falls faster via this very mechanism, will assure the creation of a modern global neo-feudalistic paradigm. 5 days ago, I put this out. People, this is gold. This is gold. Anyway, I think we're pretty much on the same page with regard to that. Now, with regard to what happened, I already showed you. The moment Trump said this, the stock market jumped higher. I demand this. Um, Now, I want to bring something else to your attention that I've been talking about for quite a while. For years, Greg Mannarino does not pull things out of a hat. I have named one bank which I believe is being set up as the fall guy on Wall Street. Why do they need a fall guy? The financial system is coming apart. This is going to give them more of a chance to again inflate here and again switch us into the new system. Problem, reaction, solution. That one bank that I have talked about for years has been one and the same, and that's Bank of America. Bank of America is being set up before the world right now as a fall guy. Now, if you have your cash in Bank of America, I'm going to tell you again what I've been telling you. Get it out. This institution, in my opinion, now on the public stage, public opinion has been obviously turned on this institution. Now, I am no fan of Bank of America. I am no fan of any bank. I wouldn't work for any bank for any amount of money. Bank of America, Brian Moynihan can show up at my door right now and offer me $100 million to work for 1 year for Bank of America. I wouldn't take it. I don't need the money. I'm being honest with you. I cannot be bought. I am not motivated by money. I hate the banking system. These are predatory institutions. I want you to understand that. So, but again, the setup is very simple. Back in April, story was floated out on Fox Business. State financial officers put Bank of America on notice for allegedly debanking conservatives. All right. This has become truth to many. On the public arena, it's very simple to persuade people that something is happening. Now, as far as I know, when you open a bank account or you go for a loan, they don't ask what your party affiliation is. Now, just in case you were wondering, with regard to Brian Moynihan, who got called out today, if you want to say that, by Trump. This is his profile. Every CEO of a Wall Street super bank has a public profile. Brian Moynihan is a conservative Republican. I find it a little hard to believe that this story is actually true. Okay. I believe that this is part of the setup for Bank of America to fail. They have to present a sacrificial lamb to the people. Now, this should scare you a little bit. I'll tell you why. What happened today should scare you just a little bit here. So Trump came out today and confronts Brian Moynihan, conservative Republican, about not taking conservative business. I don't know how this possibly can help a bank by not taking any business here. Just in case you were wondering, this bank, as well as many others, have every one of them, been found guilty of some type of discrimination, mostly along racial lines and a lot of other things too. I am not saying that this is not happening, but this is being floated out for a reason here. I, again, did not pick Bank of America out of a hat years ago. This has not been proven, by the way, but in the court of public opinion, people believe that Brian Moynihan, a conservative Republican who runs the super bank, Bank of America, is targeting conservative Republicans. Does that even sound right to you? It doesn't, right? Because it's not true. I don't believe this is actually happening until I see it. Now, in the court of public opinion, they've been convicted. They've been convicted. This should scare you a little bit. Institutions, doctors, people, corporate, they all are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. It's a part of it's due process as by the United States Constitution. Now, I am not defending Bank of America. Maybe they are targeting conservative Republicans. I can't imagine not why. Like I said, look it up for yourself. I have the sheet right here. Brian Moynihan is a Republican here. And you could read a lot about Brian Moynihan. He is a conservative Republican, as a matter of fact. I find it hard to believe. But this bank has been set up for years to be the fall guy for Wall Street. The fact that this bank is now convicted on the public stage at the World Economic Forum, okay, tells me that this is a setup. They're going to present this to you, Bank of America, as the fall guy. And I told you this before anybody. Years ago, multidimensional thinking, people. It's It's too easy in many, many ways to put this all together to understand what's happening. And nothing like this, a Wall Street super bank doesn't get set up like this on the public stage unless there's something bigger going on. They're going to present Bank of America to the people as a fall guy. Now, again, no day in court, no due process. If that's the fact that now the president, a sitting president of the United States, convicted a bank, this has not been proven. Again, this story, this from Fox Business, this has not been justified or proven at all. Okay. But I am not defending Bank of America. I think these are criminal organizations. You will know that. But it looks like a lot of it have been fooled by this story and have been fooled again by this. Let me tell you something about Brian Moynihan and the CEOs of this bank here, which looks like it's being set up. Guilty on the public stage, a sitting president. No due process. You think this is not a problem? This is going to come for you as well, okay? Due process is going to be thrown out with the Constitution as well. That's really, we're supposed to have a constitutional president, right? How did that work? Guilty on the public stage, no due process. Institutions, people, everyone, we're all entitled to this by the Constitution of the United States. They're pulling that away. They're seeing how you're going to respond to this. Now, the CEO here, Brian Moynihan, do you know what a golden parachute is? All the fat cats at this institution are going to get out with untold sums as this is allowed to happen. This is being set up. I hope you guys and girls are smart enough to understand that this is a setup. Trump is working with the Federal Reserve here clearly now to demand lower rates. Telling the world lower rates. This is a wrecking machine for you and for the economy. You understand? I really hope you're starting to get it. Prior to the presidential selection, for months, we said this was going to happen, and it's going to happen now. We're also being bridged into the new system. These are the reasons, the backbone. Now the sacrificial lamb is being set up. People, again, no magic trick here. This is common sense, as Trump said. Just use common sense, and you can see what's going on here. A lot of people are thrilled that Trump is calling out Bank of America here, making them guilty on the public stage. Meanwhile, no day in court. This story on Fox is what convinced you that they're guilty of this? Again, when was the last time you filled out an application for a bank account? Did they ask your party affiliation? When you applied for your loan, did they ask your party affiliation? Come on, man. Wake up, people. You've been dumbed down so hard. It's time to wake up. Now, a couple of more things I want to cover with you just real quick before we get out of here. I'll do this really quick. Some more economic warfare. What's your take on this and what's next? So we all understand, and I want to give a shout out here to President Trump here for at least trying to end war. But there's a little more underneath this than meets the eye. I want to give two shout outs to Trump. Number one, trying to end the war that Russia is being made guilty of here with regard to Ukraine. And that you guys and girls will make up your own mind. I also want to give kudos to Trump for this. Trump says he will ask OPEC and Saudi Arabia to lower oil prices. Okay, beautiful. I'm all for these kinds of things. Now, I want to read this to you real quick, and I want you to come up with your own conclusion. So, Lions, Trump is now threatening to punish nations that do business with Russia in an effort to end Russia's war with Ukraine. Okay. As of late, it does appear that Trump is putting the brunt of the blame for this continuing war on Russia. Trump's punish to nations, meaning by economic means. Okay. Trump also said ending Russia's war with Ukraine will be harder than he thought. This comes after Putin's response to Trump's demand. Trump demanded that Russia stop attacking Ukraine. Putin's response was what you would expect it to be. Putin said Russia will continue to act in its own best interest. Russia is already under hundreds of sanctions put on by the last creature, the mummy man, Bidenstein, and many nations have already stopped or have curtailed doing business with Russia. What the effect of accelerated economic war against Russia and its fallout for the markets remains to be seen. So I asked a couple of questions here. What is your take and what's next? Me personally, I believe this is gonna strengthen Russia's position here with the BRICS nations. Quite obviously, they're adding a lot of more alliances to the BRICS here. Um, anyway, that's kind of my take on it. Now, with regard to ending the war, Trump is also calling on OPEC to stop Russia from attacking Ukraine. It does appear on the public arena that Trump has picked Russia as he actually said on live TV, Russia's stupid war. He likes to use these kind of hyperbole, and it's kind of I'm not saying it's bad. I do things like that too, but it looks like Trump has chosen his champion here, and it looks like or his the guilty party, which is Russia. Anyway, look, guys and girls, this is a lot that we've covered here today. Jonathan, thank all of you. I appreciate this also. Anyway, look, with regard to I don't even want to go on about it, and I'm not even going to take a single question about it. Wherever you stand with who's guilty, with it's NATO's fault, or it's because they changed the leadership in Ukraine and the Zelensky is a puppet, and all that, yes, all that stuff may be true. So Russia's out here and defending their own position. I get it. I get all that. You guys and girls can hash this out on your own. But anyway, that's kind of where we're going with this here. But again, look, I want you guys and girls to take away something from what we've witnessed today. We call this before anybody. We nailed this to the wall. It's too easy. We know their playbook. We know what they're going to do here. Presidents here, in this case, Donald Trump, and I'm not putting the man down. If you can't see what's happening, then I honestly have to say you're absolutely blind. No president has the ability to do this, although you were promised during the run-up to the selection here. This was a no-brainer, gauging from what happened here. The economy is going to suffer dramatically. You are going to suffer dramatically as the currency is devalued. Around the world, Trump's call for central banks to lower rates around the world means wherever you are living under the rulership of a central bank, you're going to get squeezed. Your lifestyles are going to get squeezed. Your ability to save and invest and provide for yourself and your family is going to get squeezed here. And it's going to get squeezed harder. You're going to hear a lot of propaganda. Again, I want you to be ready for this from the mainstream media with regard to how strong our economy is, how great we're doing. What you're going to see, and this is a no-brainer, just like how we call this one, okay? And remember what I told you, at least 4 cuts this year. I'm convinced of at least 4 this year on the back of this. And the Federal Reserve right now, they're in the back probably having, I was going to say an orgy. Yeah, they have an orgy. They're orgasmic over this. They couldn't be more happy about this. When a central bank hears a president in this case promising you what they're trying to do to inflate, it's a gift. It's a gift. But anyway, look, man, what this means for you and I in the grand scheme of things, we know we're going to get further destruction of purchasing power. We knew this before. Without Trump's saying this, the Fed was planning on cutting rates anyway. Okay, but now they have a bigger excuse to make bigger cuts. Exactly, Jeffrey. They're spraying all over the place. Teach us how to fish. Doc, this is, like I said, you got to just open up your mind here. Me personally, I believe something, and some of you are going to think I'm insane, okay? But I'm going to tell you this from my heart, okay? You have to connect with the source deeply. Put politics aside. These people are not on your side here. A lot of you would put faith in this man and other political leaders around the world. Your faith is misplaced. This game of deceptions, of lies, we know what they're going to do because it's too easy. This pulls you away from the source, okay? You get closer to the source. I'm talking about the Almighty here. An entire world is going to open up for you. You're going to be able to see things and foretell things way before they happen. It's really the truth, honestly. I don't know another way to put it here. RG says rates are going higher. Really, guy? Wake the freak up. Central banks around the world are going to. Again, they're all working together. What Trump's saying, making this comment that World Bank should be cutting rates. This was happening anyway. It's just going to happen, in my opinion, more dramatically. And what they're going to do, again, you're going to hear all kinds of talk. But as the world economy continues to contract, you're going to hear more calls for lower rates because they're trying to convince you that that's what you need. We don't need that. We need much higher rates. But let me explain to you why that can't happen. Higher rates would destroy the stock markets of the world. Do you think the stock market today has any real price action at all, price discovery behind it? No. It's easy money. It's lower rates. It's currency devaluation, which has vaulted the stock market into heights which we can't even possibly believe, but it's going to go higher. It may go higher. We don't look. The freaking Fink from BlackRock is telling you what Greg's been saying. Watch the debt market. It will tell you what's going to happen. I don't know if all this stuff is going to be enough. Jonathan, you're 100% correct. Currency debasement around the world, and we the people are paying for it because we don't hold anyone to account. Let me ask you guys and girls, are you any of you planning on who support Trump? All for it. Support the guy all you want. But how many of you guys are going to call him out on this and say, you know what? Why is this happening? Why do we need currency debasement? Why do we need to devalue the currency further? Do you realize, President Trump, that this empowers the Federal Reserve? You do know that, sir. How does that help we the people? Really, Cole, it is our duty to hold our elected officials to account. I'm calling on you guys and girls to hold them to account. Let him explain to you why. Let him also explain to you why due process has been eliminated. Because on the court of due process, Bank of America is guilty. There's no due process here. This should scare you. They're going to suspend the Constitution, it looks like. And this means you're not going to get due process either. I am no fan, again, of these banks. But due process is the law. It's the Constitution. We're supposed to have a constitutional president here, right? Why was Bank of America shown before the world? Why? Because it's a setup. And I've been telling you the setup for years that Bank of America is going to be the fall guy. As the system collapses, they're going to present you with the sacrificial lamb. Look, everyone, this is what we've done. They did the same thing last time with Lehman Brothers. They did the same thing with... This is what they did. Come on, guys and girls. It's too obvious. I need something to drink. My throat's drying up on me. They need to sell you a lie. And selling you the lie is, again, presenting you with the sacrificial lamb. Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, last time. And this time it looks like it's going to be Bank of America. Could it be another one? Maybe. But this is a game that they're playing on your mind. It's not real. For those of you that have been convinced, I want you to think about what I'm going to say, that Bank of America is in fact guilty of debanking and not giving loans out to whoever, conservatives. How do you justify that, knowing, and don't take Greg's word for it, look it up yourself, that the CEO of Bank of America is a conservative Republican? How does that jive with you? Does that make any sense to you? Brian over there is going to get out with a golden parachute that he could buy whatever he wants a million gazillion times over. You understand? It's too easy to understand what's happening. Once you get it, once you see it, you can't unsee it. This is a game. And what happened today at the World Economic Forum was a game, and you're the one that got played. He was the Grand Master today, again. I hope you guys and girls are understanding what's happening. I would be calling anybody out, whether this was the Biden creature, whether it was cackling Kamala, whatever it is. I hate the system, and you guys and girls should too, but this guy is not saving you. He told you today, you're going to get destroyed. The dollar is dead. That's what he said. And he's going to make sure the dollar dies faster. Does this make any sense to you, what I've said, or is Greg really out there and he's just a Trump hater? Ronix, thank you. Jobs are coming back. Okay, Ronix, let's see. You're the one with TDS. Don't you love how they use this? They think it's something real. TDS is a real thing. You can't make it up, man. Anyway, jobs aren't coming back here, unfortunately. And if they do, let's just say they're going to be paying nothing. I mean, you're being paid in devalued dollars. You know, you should ask for. You should ask to be paid in gold. Obviously, we have to participate in this or Bitcoin because that's what they're going to do. You're going to see things like that too. You're going to see employers starting to, hey, you want to be paid in dollars? You want to be paid in Bitcoin? They probably won't allow you to get paid in gold. They don't want you to hold this stuff. You understand? They want you in Bitcoin. I mean, of course, there are. Look, I think Trump's son is actually trying to sell gold, which is a great thing. We definitely should be buying gold and silver more specifically. It's pretty obvious. But anyway, look, guys and girls, I know I'm sitting here preaching to the choir, and kind of that's it. Look at this TDS stuff. Do you not think this is real? Really? God, what will it take to wake these people up? They just can't stop themselves. It's crazy. I tell you, Greg is lying. Who thinks I'm lying here? Does anybody here? Let's take a vote. Is Greg lying? Does Greg want all of you to make up your own minds? Am I lying here? If I'm lying here, please call me out. Tell me where I got it wrong, because I really want to learn what's going on here. I am open to suggestions from anybody. I don't know everything, people, but I knew enough to tell you that this would happen, and I knew enough to tell you that being the crypto capital of the world was the bridge into the new system, and this is exactly what we're seeing here. The fact that Bank of America was getting set up from years ago, now guilty on the public stage. Get your cash out of this institution. I'm going to say it one more time. Bank of America is being set up to fail. They're guilty. No due process here. Again, the constitutional president just doesn't matter anymore. There's no due process. And that means you're going to have no due process either at one point here. You guys and girls really have to start understanding where we're being pushed into a dystopian society on a scale that you're not going to believe moving forward, honestly. And I really believe what I said earlier today, that the time we're in, people, let's say 100 years from now, when we're all off this earth, are going to say, what were they thinking? How did they allow this to happen? It's because we, the people, again, who are supposed to govern ourselves, people have been so dumbed down. They can't think for themselves. Forget about multidimensional thinking. People, listen to Greg Mannarino just for a second here. If you do one thing today, look, man, you got to reconnect with the source of everything that we know, everything that there is to know, everything that will ever be known. It all comes from the source. If you can connect to that and realize that the kingdom of God is within you, you don't have to look out. Okay, we've been told this. It's in the book. You know what book I'm talking about. People, an entire world is going to open up for you. If you are stuck in this paradigm, this world, it's going to lead you to fear, to hatred, disillusion, failure, letdowns. You understand? Reconnect with the source. Reconnect with the Almighty God. And everything is just going to be fine. I'm telling you, for you. And it just doesn't matter, honestly, people. Look, all right. Before we get out of here, kind of a long video. I'll take just a couple of questions here. Honestly, exactly. Huge disappointment. Your people are being set up for huge disappointment. It's unfortunate here. The world economy is not going to recover because one guy was switched behind the Resolute desk, because one guy is calling for world central banks to kill the purchasing power of their currency via suppressed rates. He can't tell you that. No central banker is going to tell you that. But it's obvious. Isn't it obvious? It's an incredible thing. It's just so incredible to see. I tell you, guys and girls, it's too much. It really is. But I hope you guys and girls really do start to hold your elected. Okay, Those of you that believe this was an election, hold them to account. Ask Trump to explain to you why he's demanding that the Fed lower rates immediately. Why is demanding central banks do the same thing here? What we've had is this artificially suppressed rate environment since the meltdown of '08. Look at the world economy. It's a disaster area on the back of this exact mechanism that you were promised more of today. I tell you guys, Lava's not blocking you, Ronix. Come on, man. She's not doing it. Stop blaming people. Why are you here, Ronix? I mean, I appreciate the $2. I mean, but come on, man. Maybe you should use that for yourself. Look, guys and girls, I don't know. But anyway, guys and girls, I think we covered a lot here. I think we're going to kind of call it. I really, really do appreciate all of you being here with me. This was an amazing day, incredible day. And we're seeing it unfold like we said it would. Again, multi-dimensional thinking, and it's no secret we all can do this, people. You don't understand. It's not just a gift that some people get. It's the ability to emancipate your mind, free yourself. You have that ability. You could do it today and right now. Jonathan, thank you. Exactly. It is coming. And you can't stop it either. We've all been told this. You know, all right. I think honestly we've covered it all here. Honestly, guys and girls. I love all of you from the heart. I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to ask you for something, really. I'm going to ask you to comment about what we've spoken about here. Good, bad, or indifferent. If I have earned your thumbs up, I would appreciate that. Share this stuff out as far and wide as you can. Start conversations. Let's see if we could connect with people who are thinking maybe differently than we are here. It's not, look, man, we got to break out of this stuff. If we can't do that, we lose. We're losing now. You understand? I refuse to let you lose. Not a single one of you is going to lose on my watch. I promise you this for 1,000 years. Ain't happening. No way. I'm not losing. That means you're not losing. You understand? Anyway, guys and girls, I will see all of you in the morning here. Usual, same bat time, same bat channel. And we got this. So and again, remember, look, man, we got to take care of each other. This is insanity, what we're seeing here. And it's too easy. I get it. But they want us dead. They want us dead. They are eliminating us. The middle class is being made extinct. And these are the same people that are marching themselves to the slaughter and not holding leaders accountable. Anyone. It's an incredible thing. I blasted Biden, blasted him, shredded him, everything he did. You know that. Those of you who've been with me? And I had like about half a dozen names for the creature thing, vomitous mass puke that he was. All right. I'll see you in the morning, right? Until we see each other again, please take care of yourselves and each other.